picking up where we left off on the D16z6 lower end build. We had some technical difficulties with the GoPro. I've been losing a lot of footage, a lot of corrupt files, and I think it was the SD card. So I went ahead and took the SD card out of my drone, and I'm using it now, and that should fix the issues that we were having. But where we left off here was we got the rods and everything put on. When we tightened the rod end caps to spec, the crank assembly did not want to move at all. So I was racking my brain trying to figure out why it was binding up, what was going on. And you know, I thought it might have been the bearings, I thought it might have been the crank. And then I talked to a couple people, and I did a little research, and I'm pretty sure, well, I know for now, that I mixed up the end caps on the rods. Now there are numbers on the end caps here. I'll show you guys. There are numbers on these end caps, so we mixed them up. So if you see that on the rod itself, this is the rod, this is the end cap, this rod says 003, right? So this number here on top should say 003. Well, if we spin it around, we see the end cap here, 003 on 765. Well, if we spin it around here, we'll see 765 is on 003. So I've got the end caps on the wrong pistons, so what I need to do now is take all these end caps off, clean them up, and put them on the right rod. So a little bit of issues there with you know, I was putting the pistons together, and wasn't keeping the best track of what was going on. So just make sure that when you're doing something like this, you definitely want to keep a better track of your rod end caps and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get these undone, cleaned up, brake cleaned, and put on the right rods. Alright guys, so just coming back to you now. I want to explain a couple things that I actually did wrong. When putting these pistons in, I should have went one by one. I think I was excited. I kind of got a little ahead of myself, and I was putting all these pistons in and then trying to manage the crank and stuff like that. And with doing so, you know, a couple of my bearings unseated from the rod, and you know, lube got in there and stuff like that. And then mixing up the end caps, that was my second mistake. So what I just did was I took all the pistons out and completely cleaned everything. Re-brake cleaned all of the bearings, the rods themselves, just started fresh again. And what I did was I started on cylinder 4, put that piston in, lubed it, put the end cap on, tightened it down to where it was just tight, and then went to cylinder 3 and continued the same process. So now I'm all back together, all cleaned. I'm not worried about having assembly lube behind the actual bearing on the dry side, so I don't have to worry about that now, because if I would have skipped that step, you know, I could have spun a bearing, and that's definitely not good. So definitely want to go the extra mile when doing this. And if you have any idea, like there might be a gray area there, you want to just get rid of that and make sure you do it the right way. So we're here now, all back assembled, made sure all the end cap numbers are correct, which they are. I'll show you now. So we have 22 with 22, 03 with 03, and the other ones match as well. So when we go down to torque this, we shouldn't have any issue with binding. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to go ahead and get the torque wrench out, and I am going to stagger it. Now there was a couple things I was doing some research on. Now On the Speed Factory sheet that they gave me for these rods, they called out 55 pounds for these rod studs. I went to ARP website to try to find the torque spec on these, and I really couldn't find it. A lot of the stuff said 46, and there was a couple things that said 60. But when I looked up ARP 2000, that's basically what I came up with, was between 43 and 46, and then there was a couple others that said 60. So I'm gonna go with the torque spec that Speed Factory sent me at 55. I've already torqued these to 55, so I think going anything less than that would not be good. So we'll go ahead and retorque these at 55, but I will do a 25 and then go to 55.
Yep.
So, and Aaron, he's been knocking a bunch of stuff out here around the shop. He's working really hard on getting everything cleaned up, and we're really going to do a lot of work here at the shop itself, cleaning up inside, hanging more lights, so that for the videos to come, you guys really see a nice put together spot. And it's already nice and put together, but that extra step is obviously the best thing. So
yeah, we're going to be doing some concrete work, things like that. So we're just trying to get it cleaned up. So while Dom's been hammering out some of these things, I've been out in the background loading some stuff up on the shop truck, some junk that we've been needing to haul off from remodeling our house. Get it hauled off, get a garage put up for some of the stuff that we use in the shop, the tools, so that we can have the shop just as a workspace, and really open it up for us to really have a nice open clean spot to do all the projects that we really want to do.
now what I want to do is I do want to turn this now and hit that one.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really glad that that's all it was. At first I thought it might have been the crank. When I bought this block, it came with this crank, and the guy told me that this was the crank for this block. But when we hit that issue, I almost thought that maybe it was the wrong crank or something. So I'm glad it was something as simple as...
And again, we had it checked out by the machine shop as we did with the whole block, everything. But I mean, who's to say? We've got really good machine shops that we use, and we trust them. But we were just, in the moment, we were just tossing ideas around. And then once we discovered that the numbers weren't matching on the caps, it was like, okay, dead giveaway. Obviously, we see something's wrong here. So we knew it had to be corrected no matter what.
Cool. Thank you, bro.
Of course, man.
Appreciate it. So now we're good there. Our whole bottom end is complete and done. Now I can go ahead and put the brand new oil pump on. I can get that done.
Your pickup tube, everything there, all that's going to go in.
Yep, I can go ahead after that and get my oil pan on, all my gaskets and stuff like that, and then we can start on the actual head itself. So really excited. We'll come back to you here in just a minute. Alright guys, we got the bottom end assembly done. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to shim a oil pump to get your oil pressure up. Pretty easy. I'll go ahead and show you the process now. So basically I have my brand new oil pump here. I wanted to get an ACL, but I just couldn't afford it right now, maybe later on. But this is brand new, OEM quality. So to shim an oil pump, what you're going to do is this top piece here you're going to pull out. Now it is there is a spring behind it, so you just want to slowly undo it. There will be a crush washer here and a spring. Okay, so basically this allows the flow of the pressure, allows the flow of the oil. Now a kind of a hack here to be able to do this. Now on this piece you want to add a little bit of a spacer, and what that does is put a little bit more pressure on the spring and creates more oil pressure. So the hack here is by using one of these 2.5 16-14 electrical connectors. They are actually the perfect washer for this. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut that end off to where you just have the circular end, and that will be your washer. So now we have just added more oil pressure to our oil pump, and notching this out isn't going to make a huge difference. I'm going to be just fine doing that. So now we can go ahead and get the block cleaned up, get this Honda bonded, and put it on the block. Alright guys, so we just showed you guys how to shim the oil pump. Just got that done. So now what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna get the oil pump on. What we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to put some Honda Bond all the way around here, and get that all Honda bonded out, and then we'll need to line up the line it up correctly to be able to slide that on. I'll show you guys here. So we'll take this off, and it's always good to put some oil on this part right here because we do have a seal that it's going to be sitting on. So we're going to want to oil the seal, oil this, and make it so it goes on a lot easier. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to Honda Bond it first so that we can get that done. So we've got all the Honda Bond on, and then we'll want to move this to where it will go on here the right way, and we'll get some oil on the seal. So just a little bit of oil. Always want oil on your seals. A little oil on this because this is where the seal is going to hit. Okay, everything there looks good. All the points are flush, so that's exactly what we want, guys. So this does call for 4 of the 6x10s. We'll go ahead and stick these in there. Alright guys, so I had a little bit of a scare there for a second, but we're all good. I thought they were all the same length. I forgot that these two right here were longer. And I thought we were stripped out, but it just wasn't enough threads in there. So I went online and looked at the actual bolt pattern and the lengths, and these two are longer. So I made sure to get the longer bolts, which are the correct ones, in there. Got that on. Everything's torqued down to 8 pounds. So now the oil pump is on and good. Now I'm going to go ahead and find my pickup and go ahead and get that on. Alright, so we need to go ahead and clean up this oil pan. This oil pan looks okay. There's no dents, anything like that. I do have it ported for the oil return line. Really, you just want to clean up this surface good. So that's good. She's cleaned out. That's good. Now we will go ahead and clean this surface off. All the oil and assembly lube and stuff that we had got on there before. Go ahead and get all that off. All of that's looking good now. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and put this oil pan gasket on. There's a smaller side and a bigger side. The bigger side is going to go on the rear main of the crank. Smaller side goes up here on the front. Just want to make sure your surface is all cleaned up. Everything's pushed down and it's on all the studs. Alright guys, just wanted to show you something here that I'm going to put on this block. This is a 1/2 inch AN10 fitting that I ordered online. This actually goes in the port where the stock PCV valve box goes onto. One of the issues I had when I turboed the old motor was I had a lot of crankcase pressure, which basically exploded the pistons because there was too much pressure. It wasn't able to release, and yeah, it did big time damage. So with this motor here, I want to make sure that it can really breathe good. I'm going to add this 1/2 inch fitting here, which will go to a catch can, as well as 2 fittings off of the valve cover that will go to a catch can. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys putting this in. So there we go, she's all nice and tight in there and sealed up, so I can hook up a fitting on here with the line to the catch can and be able to really get a lot of breathing through the lower end, so I don't have that pressure built up in the crank. And yeah. Alright guys, basically got a lot done today on the block. Got the lower end fixed and all the little kinks worked out. The assembly works great. It moves very freely. Got the oil pan on, got the oil pickup put on. I got the new oil pump put on. I got the crank gear placed on. Got that new pulley put on. So the whole lower half is done now and assembled. On our next videos, we'll start with, we need to clean up the valves themselves and put new seals in.
Tear the head down. Sorry to interrupt. Tear the head down, pull old seals off, check everything to spec, clean everything up, reassemble. So we'll start that process.
Yep, and then the head will be able to go on and we can start possibly dropping this motor in. So Aaron did a phenomenal job today. He was in the background cleaning up this huge pile. He did a remodel.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry guys, I know I haven't been in the today's videos as much. One thing, you know, Dom told me is I want to be on this build myself. I really want to get this motor assembled myself. You know, typically we do everything together, like, you know, as many hands in there as we can get in there. But this is his. He really wants to do this for his car, which is great. I love that. And so I've been here. You've seen me pop into the videos, but at the same time, we're trying to reconfigure the whole shop. Which is a lot me, because my wife and I remodeled our house. My shop is on the same piece of property my house is on, and the remodel debris is affecting the shop, and we can't have that. So instead of letting it sit there for four years, you know, I'm gonna get it cleaned up, get it hauled out of here. And today was you know, it's Memorial Day. I had a day off. I wanted to get some things done, so I do apologize for being absent from the videos, but that is not standard for us. It's just because we're trying to get the shop done. You've heard Dom say that we're doing some concrete work, so we're going to pour some new slabs, things like that. We're just trying to really get things workable for us so that we can really have at our disposal everything we need to make this shop fully functional for us.
Oh yeah.
Because it's going to be key to us continuing what we're doing here on the next one. So I just been working in the background, guys. But
yeah,
I'm
he
here.
moved a lot of stuff, man. Like he's got the old shop Chevy truck, and he loaded it sky high. So
yeah, suspension's feeling it a little bit. We'll see if we make it to our dump site. But
yep. So we'll pick up on this again, guys. And thank you for watching. If you like the video, like and subscribe to continue to see this build. Check out our Instagrams at Enquire360. It's ENQUIR.
And we're at Rising Sun _ @AutoWorks. So @RisingSun_AutoWorks. Of our other builds and stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Have a good day and stay building.